Jason, let's talk to you a little bit about this. Recently, a Facebook post on a page threatened to make public a list of almost 100 local businesses in Pittsburgh that were owned by Trump supporters. Apparently, the page has been taken down. Also, a similar social media-driven boycott was directed at one of Connecticut's most popular pizza parlors, Frank Pepe Pizzeria. What do you make of, it looks like kind of a political movement on the left trying to silence people who support the president?
No, they try to intimidate. They try to shame them. They went after Sarah Huckabee Sanders, you know, when she went out to have a meal. You have the Will and Grace stars wanting to put together literally a blacklist. Give us the names of anybody who's donating because we want to know who we shouldn't work with in Hollywood. It is pervasive. It is a tactic of the left.
Is it new?
It's not necessarily new, but it's going to heat up into 2020. And I got to tell you what, conservatives, we just want to relax and be part of the fabric of America. We don't want the problem, so we just kind of shy away from it. And they know that. They prey upon it, and they're trying to do this to intimidate people.
Thankfully, the Will and Grace stars, they walked it back a little bit because they got a lot of criticism. Even Whoopi Goldberg, who we most of the time don't agree with.
But they still want the names.
She said, I am not for these blacklists.
But that was a blacklist. They called it out. Susan Sarandon and Whoopi Goldberg, good for them for pointing it out. But that's what they're trying to do. You talk to people like Dean Cain, who's been on this couch many times. You talk to other celebrities out there, and they'll tell you that that's exactly what they do. And it happens at the Hollywood level, but it happens in Pittsburgh and other little places, too. They're just trying to shame people.
But you know what I also noticed, Jason, is that people don't necessarily change who they're going to vote for their support. They just keep it to themselves, which makes you wonder, does any poll remotely reflect where the American people are at?
This is why all of a sudden Donald Trump wins 30 of the 50 states. I think Donald Trump is stronger politically than he's ever been before. And these kind of tactics going after the average person, right? The average person just fires people up. When they go try to take your guns, when they try to go do all this other stuff, it motivates those Trump voters to come out.
Hey, did he just call us average? I thought I was above average. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, we've got above average. And then below average. And below average as we get, yes.
Since we're talking about 2020.
Wait a minute.
Let's talk.
You're on this side of the
liver, too.
Let's talk a little bit, since we're talking about 2020.
Yeah.
Let's talk about 2016. And essentially, the theme of your book, Power Grab, the liberal scheme to undermine Trump, the Republican Party, is about how the people on the political left are trying to invalidate the results of the 2016 election.
There are tactics and things that I saw. I was in Congress 8.5 years, chairman of the Oversight Committee, and they are using the levers of government to try to negate the 2016 election, but then do things into 2020 that they should never, ever do. Part of it is that intimidation. Part of it is using public charities. I hope you can look at the Wall Street Journal today. Kim Strassel wrote an article about this, about how they use public charities to try to get things that they couldn't do otherwise.
Nonprofits.
Not-for-profits. But there are a lot of tactics and things that they do to try to change the way we're doing the election. They want to change the Electoral College. They want to make vote harvesting legal. They want to do all of these things, and they're doing them behind the scenes. That's what's scary.
Tell us about one thing people have not heard about.
Vote harvesting. If the Democrats have their way, they want to be able to go out and collect everybody's ballots without you even having to go to the poll. You could supposedly sign it, but they want to collect this. They did it in California. They took about 8 seats from Republicans in California.
They picked up the votes?
They picked up the votes, and they turned them in masse. They did it in Arizona. They did it in California, and they want to make this legal all across the country.
You know, Horowitz, what happens with FISA abuse?
I think John Durham is the U.S. attorney will prosecute Mr. McCabe. That's my best guess. It's a guess, innocent until proven guilty. But the Horowitz report, now a year and a half in the making, I think will be some of the most damning evidence we've seen about FISA abuse and the origins of the Russia probe.
All right.
Any messages for our first responders?
God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.